Hey guys, it's Nikki and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today's Q&A video all about our cruise on the Disney Wish. So if you're new to the channel or you just missed it, we did sail on the Disney Wish this year and oh my gosh, spoiler alert, it was an amazing time. We had so much fun and cannot wait to go back again. I'll leave a link to our Disney Wish playlist in the description down below in case you missed it. So after this video, you can go back and get caught up there. But like I said, today's video is just going to be a Q&A from questions from you in my community about our Disney Wish cruise and just like Disney cruising in general. So I split up the questions in 4 different sections. So we have general questions, kid questions, activities questions, and then food questions. All about the food. So we're just gonna start with the general questions. I do have them all listed and typed out over here. So if you see my eyeballs going that way, that is why. So we're gonna start with those general questions. And question number 1, or like I should probably just say the first question because I'm definitely gonna lose count. Also just wanted to say really quickly, this is going to be most likely a longer video. So thank you for watching the whole thing or making it to the end before you've actually made it to the end. Anyways, let's get started. For the first question, it is, could you clarify rules for adult dress up for dinner themes? Any restrictions? So since I did not dress up or want to dress up, I had to go ahead and look and see if Disney posted any restrictions. I didn't see any restrictions on the Disney Cruise Line website about their dress code and guidelines. However, in the Disney parks, it is very restricted for you to dress up as a character. You 100% can have outfits that are inspired by someone, but you can't just like go get a Halloween costume of Cinderella and then show up in the park in a Cinderella dress. Obviously there's only one Cinderella, so people would get very confused on why they're seeing 2. And as a regular day guest, you could be doing things that like Cinderella shouldn't be doing. Self-explanatory. So for the Disney cruise, I would say the rules are the same. You can definitely have an outfit that is inspired by the character, but you're not going to want to dress up as Elsa 100% when you go to the Arendelle dinner on the Disney Wish. Dress code in general, it is very casual. They do have a semi-formal, formal night on the 4-night cruise and then the 7-night cruise, but for the 3-night that we were on, they did not. So I wore a Lily Poulter dresses. Jackson, I think, had on like a golf polo. Some people went like way far into the theming, like for 1920, they dressed it up in like 1920s dresses, and it was like super cute. I didn't even like think to do that. So you definitely can dress up per theming, but just know that it is a very large mix of people who dress up a little bit more fancy and people who are just like casual for the cruise. Question is, stay on or get off for Nassau Day. So for Disney cruises and just cruises in general, you normally will have a couple of different ports that you stop at. For our cruise, we ported at Nassau, Bahamas, and we ported at Castaway Cay. So for Nassau, we did not get off the ship. We stayed on because this was our first cruise on the Disney Wish, and we knew that we were going to have plenty of things to do on the ship and to explore, and we didn't want to just spend that time off of the ship. If you do have like a really fun excursions, and we'll get into that a little bit later, then yes, sure, go ahead. But we were really there to soak in that Disney magic, so we kept our bodies on the ship. We didn't notice a huge, and I will say this, we didn't notice a huge difference of people getting off the ship on Nassau Day, and I don't think a lot of people actually did. But when we got to Disney's private island, we left right away, and then we got back around like 1 o'clock right after lunchtime, and it was a ghost town. It was so much fun. Pools were wide open and nobody was on the ship. So just know that a lot of people don't get off on Nassau nowadays, I feel like. But you definitely can. walk around a little bit. Just be aware of your surroundings and know like where you're going, and then especially like how to get back. Our next question is pin trading occurring on the ship? So technically no, it's not like Disney sanctioned pin trading like you would see in the parks. However, a lot of people do have pin boards on the outside of their stateroom. Really make sure you join that Facebook group for your sailing date, because that will allow you to know which staterooms have their pin boards posted. If you do see a pin board, make sure if you take one, you do leave one. It's always sad when you see that people posted a pin board and then somebody just like took all of them. So have the common courtesy to still keep like the pin trading rules even when you're on the Disney cruise, but technically it's not sanctioned by Disney, but people will still post their pin boards. Does 3-night Wish cruise do pirate night? Yes. So we had our pirate night on our second night, so our Nassau day, that was pirate night. Since it was just the 3 days, we were only able to experience each restaurant one time. However, if you do 4 nights, then it is going to be on that 3rd night, I'm pretty sure. I haven't been on a 4-night cruise, so pretty sure that's correct. However, pirate night is really fun. It's super late. It's very late into the night. There's 2 different shows, so just make sure that you keep an eye on the time for your kiddos if you want to go to the early show and the late show, or just the early show that's more like character kid focused. Just know that there are 2 shows. The later one will have the fireworks, and that I think started at like 10 p.m. Popular question that I got: can you use your Disney gift cards aboard the Wish and at Castaway? So you can, in a sense, with your Key to the World card, and you can add Disney gift cards to your Disney Cruise Line account, and then that will allow you to have shipboard credit, and so then you can pay using your Disney gift card. So it's kind of confusing. So yes, you can use that Disney gift card, but it does need to be uploaded to your, I don't even know if it's your Disney Cruise Line, your sailing account, so then you can purchase shipboard credit. Are they offering anything for the inaugural sailing still? The tote that they were giving out last year, they are not. So if you watch my haul video, and that will be in that playlist too, I talk all about this and how sad I was. We were actually on the first sailing that they stopped giving those inaugural gifts, and so the Castaway Club gift is just the regular gift. So it's just going to be that sling bag, and then you will also get like your silver, gold, or platinum pearl lanyards. For our next question, the person said, totally new to cruising. We are hoping for a day at Walt Disney World. Do you recommend before or after the cruise? Best place to stay with great swimming near the port. We'll be flying in and out of Orlando. So this is kind of tricky, because a lot of people will say that it is land and sea, and so they will go to Disney World first and then they will go to their cruise second. Honestly, we did the sea first and then the land, and I loved it. For our trip, we flew in late the night before, and then we stayed at the Residence Inn at Cocoa Beach. It was probably about a 7-minute Uber to the port. They did have a shuttle, but the shuttle time just didn't work well for us, and so we got there, hung out that morning, and then just went right over to the port. So for our next cruise, I'm actually having a couple days at Disney World before, so I will have both perspectives. So for the do you recommend before or after the cruise, TBD. I loved after the cruise. I love being at Disney, and so having so much fun on the cruise and knowing that it wasn't over, that we were able to still now go to the parks, that was really nice. So maybe the trick is before and after. There you go. It's always hard leaving, but yeah, maybe you do like a couple days before and then like a couple days after. There you go. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat. The next question is how to get to and from MCO if you want to do Walt Disney World or the Space Center. So if you're going to the Space Center before, that will totally have to be on your own. So Disney is not obviously going to provide any transportation for you. So you could rent a car, you could do an Uber or a Lyft, private service, different things like that. For Walt Disney World, however, you can get a shuttle. So Disney still has their shuttles for the Disney Cruise Line, and we're using that next time as well. So I'll be able to report back to see how that goes. But you can also Uber and rent a car even if you want to do Walt Disney World. So for our cruise, we Ubered from MCO to the Residence Inn at Cocoa Beach. We Ubered from there to the port, and then we went from the port to Walt Disney World. I can't remember exactly how much that was. I'll see if Jackson knows or if we can find it, and I'll leave like the total right here. Honestly, it was easy. It was worth it. We always Uber. We don't ever rent a car. We just don't feel like we need one or we'll like use it enough. I'm pretty sure the parking fee at the port is super expensive. So also like keep that in mind. But I do know as well, like if you have small kids and you have to worry about high chairs. Car seats, there we go, and different things like that. So it really is up to what fits your family. There are other private services that would have car seats that can take you, but Disney will take you on their shuttle from MCO to the port. It scares me because I will tell absolutely everyone, every single one of my clients that are doing a Disney cruise, you need to be there the day before your port. The worst thing, even if you have travel insurance, is if your flights would get delayed or canceled and you miss getting on that ship. Like how sad would that be? Oh my goodness. Always try and arrive that day before, and then you don't even have to worry about not getting on the ship the next day. We were going to stay at the hotel at MCO and then take the shuttle over, but we just thought it would be a little cheaper to stay at the Residence Inn. It was a lot cheaper actually, and then just Uber over. It's not something that I am able to experience, but I did want to answer it. Accommodations for deaf people, children, and adults. So when it comes to Disney, they are, to me, one of the most inclusive companies. We do have certain staterooms that will help accommodate all of that for you. That's all I'm going to speak on for that question, just because I haven't experienced it. But just in general, I am pretty sure that Disney has different things throughout the cruise and even the parks that are super helpful for all people. On Disembark Day, where do you pick up your luggage if you choose to leave it out? So when it comes to your luggage, they are super helpful. On Embarkation Day, you will drive up or you'll go and park. They will take your luggage from you. It is super easy. They get it out. They just make sure you have your luggage tags that are mailed to you on your luggage. If you forget them or don't have enough, I'm pretty sure that they will have extras there for you. Just like write it down. But the luggage team will take that and then they will deliver it to your stateroom. Normally it's around like 5 p.m.-ish on your first day. When you leave, you have to have your luggage ready around, for our cruise, it was 10 o'clock. We'd have our luggage out. I'm pretty sure they do like one last lap just in case like somebody puts it out too late. But once you do that, wake up the next day, you'll go and have your breakfast and you'll wait for your luggage tag color and character. So ours was mini purple. Once that was announced, we were able to disembark the ship, which honestly is like so sad because you're like, no, I don't want to go. But once your tag is called, you can leave and you will go through the same process that you did when you got on the ship. They'll check your passports, you will walk down the escalators again, and then you're able to leave. When you leave, you go a little bit of a different way, and I believe we went down steps did we go up steps or down steps? I'm pretty sure we went down steps. And then it was like a big warehouse, and that's where all the luggage is at. So you will find your color and your character, you'll go to that section, and you will go ahead and pick up your luggage. It was actually kind of hard to find for like 2 seconds, and that like panic of like, somebody like took our luggage. Nobody's gonna take your luggage, at least they shouldn't. And then we got in line for customs and we're on our way. So it was super simple, really easy. I would really encourage dropping your luggage. We dropped it the night before and just had one of our like carry-on suitcases filled with everything we needed that morning, because the hallways are carpeted, they're small, and so it's just kind of hard to like push your luggage through all of that. So highly recommend having them take your luggage day one and having them take it back down for you on your last night. How do you know which cruise to choose? So this is a really tricky question to answer, because it's just up to you. It's up to your budget, it's up to your schedule, it's what you want to experience, what ship you want to go on, where you're located. Maybe Port Canaveral isn't the closest port to you. So there's tons of different options. How long do you want to cruise? Do you want to go to Disney World before or after, or both, and then do like a 4-night cruise or a 3-night cruise? Maybe you just want to cruise for the weekend, and so it's going to be like a little shorter. It's definitely tough. I personally love the Disney Wish. I can't remember what ship I cruised on when I was younger, but I would say the Disney Wish is my current favorite, hoping that we can like cruise on other ships in the upcoming future. But Disney Wish is a great option. I would say try and do a 4-night cruise. Our 3-night cruise was very short. I wish like we had a day at sea as well. But again, it's just up to what your budget is, what dates are available that work for you and your family. But it's hard to know which cruise to choose. A little like self-plug right here. I am a Disney travel agent. I also just love Disney. I started doing it about a year ago now, and I would get so many Disney questions from all of the people, and I would never be able to like take that stress off of them or help them plan their cruise or just trip in general. And so that's the reason why I became a travel agent. If you ever have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. But I do have a form in my description down below. So if you are having a hard time of choosing which cruise to go on, I would be more than happy to help you just talk through that, get that plan for you. It's vacation. It should be a stress-free process. It isn't. But with a travel agent, it definitely can be. I recommend budgeting for once on the ship. So this kind of goes into one of the food questions. It is all-inclusive for food and non-alcoholic beverages. So when it comes to budgeting, I would probably budget yourself at least $500, if not more. It really depends on how much you want to shop for. We did not drink a lot of alcohol on this cruise because we didn't know like how our bodies would be in the sea. We were totally fine. So later in the cruise, we drank a little bit more. And they were honestly super cheap compared to like Disney World prices. It was just like normal pricing, which we were shocked about. And we're like, oh, what have we been doing this whole cruise? But it definitely isn't like super expensive like Disney World can be when it comes to alcohol. So I would say probably about $500. You could easily not spend any money on the cruise. But if you're wanting to buy something, definitely have like that in your budget. Things to budget for is the tipping. So you automatically get charged, I think it's 15%. It's 15 or 18%. You will be charged either before, if you choose, or after your cruise for your service members. So it will be your head server, which comes around and talks to you one time, your lead server, and then your assistant server, and then your stateroom host. So you have 4 people that you will be tipping on your cruise, and then you'll get these little cards that you can add extra money in. So we brought extra cash, but you can like write on there and they'll just apply it to your shipboard cost. But how much extra you want to add is totally up to you and the service that they gave. So overall budgeting, I would say probably $500. Like realistically, I'm going to budget higher than that just because I like to shop. And there are really, I will say one more thing, then we can move on to the next question. There are a lot of high-end bougie stores on the cruise. So if that floats your boat, then budget a little bit higher. Okay, this one was really funny and I just wanted to throw it in here. Can you take a picture of the tag from the tan throw on the bed? I want to know the company. So this tan throw is so cute. I'll try and find a picture and put it up here for you. But they actually took it out of our stateroom the last night so people don't steal it, which is like so funny to me. So next time I will check out what company it is, and I'm gonna ask and see if you can buy it. I'm pretty sure it's like super expensive, but honestly it's really cute. Would I spend a lot of money on that for a blanket? Since my husband is gonna watch this video, I'm going to say no, but probably because it's really cute. Experiences are the most magical on the Disney cruise? I love this question. Oh my goodness. So to me, the most magical experiences were definitely my interactions with the characters. They were just so personable and they really like took that time with you, which I appreciated. I also really loved the shows, not like the Broadway shows, those were good, but I loved like the Sail Away show, the closing one, the Pirates Night. Those are the most magical because everybody is just together and the characters are singing and dancing. Ugh, it's just so much fun. It's honestly, the whole thing is magical. Personally, to me, it is what you make it is. You could go on a Disney cruise and you could go to Disney World and you could have a terrible time because your mindset is negative. So if you just have that positive mindset going into it, it's going to be the most magical time you will have ever had. And our last question for the general section is, what reason would you choose to experience Disney through DCL versus the parks? So I love this question, and again, it really goes back to what's best for your family. If somebody has small children but they want to experience Disney and their budget allows for it, I would definitely recommend the Disney cruise. Just the fact that you have everything you need on the ship. Your stateroom is really accessible, so you can run and do naps really easily. You're not taking buses and boats and monorails back to your resort to have that nap time. You will save so much time during the day just on that aspect alone. However, it is a little hard to use strollers on the cruise. So for like teeny tiny babies, you might just need to do a lot of baby wearing because the elevators are small and there's not a lot of them. So it just takes a while. So using the steps is like the best option. I didn't see a ton of strollers, but I saw like a couple and I'm like, bless you, because that's probably like really hard to get around. So in general, I would say it really depends on what your family is and what your budget is. Disney Cruise Line and a Disney park stay can be very similar depending on where you stay, how many parks you're going to, but overall, a Disney cruise is probably going to be a little bit more expensive if you're staying at Value Resort with the base ticket for your parks. However, for me personally, I love to do both. We do both. We are DVC members, so we will always go to the parks. However, now since we've been on a Disney cruise, I will always make an effort to try and book a Disney cruise once a year. I know that's probably not feasible, but hopefully it'll be feasible in my mind, just because they were so much fun. It's a totally different vacation. They're very much like a go, and then we relax on our Disney parks, then we go again, and then we have a couple hours to relax. On the Disney Cruise Line, it was very like relaxing, and that was kind of hard for us because we are not used to that. But choosing between both, it's a completely different vacation. So again, it depends on what's best for your family, but I would always highly recommend a Disney cruise because they were really fun. Section is about kids. So I don't have any children yet. I am an auntie to 3 adorable babies, but don't have any kids yet. So a couple of these I've just found the answer to. For the kids questions, I'm just gonna run through a couple of these here pretty quickly, and then a couple of them will have a little bit of a longer answer. So first I want to preface the 3 areas that they have for kids, or technically 4. So there's a small world nursery, and that is 0 to 3. And then they have the Oceaneers Club, which is 3 to 11. Right. Then they have the Oceaneers Club, which is 3 to 12. And then Vibe is Edge is 11 to 14, and Vibe is 14 to 17. So 3 to 12, 11 to 14, and then 14 to 17. So there's like a couple of like overlapping things there. But they're able to go there throughout the whole cruise. Times, and this was a question I got, what time did the Small World Nursery open? And from 8 to 9, they normally have like a family time where parents can be in there with their kiddo to get them comfortable. However, I don't know exactly what time these open. It can probably vary by cruise, so just make sure you check that Navigator app and see what time they open for your cruise. When you look at the Navigator app, and I'll like post a little video of what that looks like, it's going to break down every single day for you by the minute. So for example, like there was a youth activities open house for Vibe for 1 hour at 10 o'clock. Whenever you see an open house, that means anybody can go down there. So it's a really good opportunity for you and your kids to go there together. One, if your kid wants to experience it, but you don't want to leave them there, that's a good time for it. Or maybe they aren't sure, maybe you aren't sure if you want to leave them down there. And when they go and experience that, maybe they'll be comfortable with it. Maybe you'll be able to meet the cast members that are great and working with the kiddos. So it's definitely up to your family on how much you want to utilize that or not. But I would definitely recommend just going to the open houses, because then your kids get to see it, and they have a lot of really fun activities for them. When it comes to ages, and this again depends on the cruise, how many kids are actually going down there. If your kids are overlapping in the age and they're really close, no, that doesn't make sense. So a couple of the questions I got about the Oceaneers Club, Edge, and Vibe. Does the Oceaneers Club have video games? Yes, they actually have like a roller coaster simulator that you can build your own roller coaster and then like ride it. It's really cool. And then they also just have iPads down there too. Kids are 12 and 15. Will they let them both have access to Oceaneers Club, Edge, and Vibe so they can be together? Unfortunately not. Your 15-year-old would only be able to have access to the older group, so they are only able to go to Vibe. I don't know where they get these names. Like, let's just say, I don't know where to get the names. Anyways, your 12-year-old could go to Edge or the Oceaneers Club, but that 15-year-old would only be able to go to Vibe. For the 12-year-old to go to Vibe, maybe you could always ask the cast member. It depends on capacity at that moment if they let them in. I have read in different groups and articles that sometimes they'll let a younger kiddo, if they're on that brink of the edge, to go to the next level. But it really just depends on your cruise and the cast member that is checking your child in. The teen area, I can't speak to that because I don't have any teenagers. I'm not a teenager. During our next cruise, I really want to go to the open houses and check it out. So TBD, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. and then I can let you know how that is in a future video. Next question is, new to DCL, what is the Royal Gathering and how much is it? So the Royal Gathering is when you can take pictures and have a meet and greet with princesses. So they will have a group of princesses in the main hall, and you do have to reserve a time to be able to go and do this. The princesses are not out and about throughout the ship like the Fab 5 characters are, or 7 most likely, sometimes 9 characters are. So if you do want to meet the princesses, it is really important to sign up for that Royal Gathering. There's no price, you just need to have a certain time to go. If you don't see a available time, make sure when you get on your cruise you head to guest services and see if there's an extra time that they can add you to. And the last question was, what are some onboard activities for younger kids? So they do have a really fun splash pad. All of the pools are very kid focused, so that is awesome. And then there are tons of activities throughout the cruise. They have different arts and crafts options. They have different like kid focused trivia. There is so much for kiddos to do on the Disney Wish, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say just Disney Cruise Line in general. So again, make sure you just check that navigator app, heart the items that you guys might want to go to, because that will then send you a notification when that time comes up. But yes, there are tons of activities for your kiddos on the Disney Wish. And so that's going to jump us into the activities portion of this video. So the next couple of questions are just all about the activities on the Disney Wish. For the first questions of our activities section is, where can you find out excursion information before your booking window? So again, another plug for your travel agent. Any travel agent, it doesn't have to be me. It's completely free for you to use. It doesn't cost you a single dime, and you're gonna be paying the same amount to Disney or to a travel agent. So for those port excursions or just excursions in general, they're just going to be on that Disney Cruise Line website. So you can just Google like excursions on the Disney Wish, and that will bring you up to the Port Adventures page on the Disney Cruise Line. I just pulled it up right here just so I could read it to you. It just says, bring every destination you visit to life. More magic, less effort. You can look at the ones that Disney is offering. So these are going to be Alaska Port Adventures, Bahamas, Bermuda, Pacific Coast, Canada, Caribbean, Castaway. So there's going to be tons and tons of different options on here for you, but I will preface, these are Disney focused excursions, which honestly I would encourage to do a Disney one and not an external one, because if the port adventure for some reason would get delayed or you guys would get stuck, they have that communication with the ship. If you are not on a Disney one, then they don't know where you're at, they leaving. Like, you're not on the boat, on the ship, like, they gone. So it's really important that you're back at the correct time. And if you, personally, I like to be in control like of my transportation, and so if I'm somewhere and I don't have an option to like get back on my own, that like kind of freaks me out. But I would highly encourage to look at the Disney ones first and then look at any other ones. The website a little bit more so you can see like how much it's going to be for like a bike rental or snorkels or different like Jeep, beach, and local adventures in Nassau, and like tricycle, bike, aqua trike rentals, a golf club that you could go to, not like a golf club, like an ocean golf course, that's what I should say. Atlantis option. So there are a ton of different options on here. Next question is, rules for the various pools, age, etc. Are there any restrictions? So we're gonna just start with the Aqua Mouse. That is the roller coaster at sea. It's a roller coaster kinda and a water slide at the same time. It is so much fun. And when we went, it wasn't super warm, and so it definitely was really cold. But I'm sure like in the summer, it would have felt great. But for that, you have to be at least 42 inches tall to ride it. And if you are under the age of 7, you have to be at least with one person who is 14 or older. to ride it together, but it is so much fun and highly recommend if your kiddos are tall enough to go on that. It is a great time. For the Toy Story Splash Zone, that is on deck 12, and that is for guests under the age of 6. So it is a really cute, fun little area. It's pretty much just like a splash pad, and you have to make sure that your kids have swim diapers. I've been like reading a little bit more about the pools just because we weren't able to experience them because it wasn't very warm out. We tried to go into the Quiet Cove, which is the adult area that's 18 and over, one time, and it was just freezing. Oh my goodness, I don't like to be in cold water, and the water itself was cold, but the air was also cold, and so I was like, nah, we'll try that next time. But all of the other pools, so what makes the Disney Wish unique is that they have, I believe, let me count. So they have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 different pools. They're a lot smaller instead of the other ships just have one big pool in the middle. I liked the smaller ones. It's probably easier for the lifeguards, for parents to know where their kids are. Probably a lot easier just for safety in general. Is how to book excursions. If you're booking those excursions through Disney, you will do it on your Disney Cruise Line app 75 days before you sail. That 75 day hits at midnight, Eastern Standard Time, you will be able to go ahead and book those excursions. If there is an excursion that you're really wanting to get, I would highly recommend getting on there exactly at midnight, 75 days before you sail. What are the possibilities of getting an umbrella, a shaded area at Castaway? We will have a 6 and 3-year-old. 100% possibility. There are so many umbrellas and chairs all around you on the beach. There are plenty of beach chairs and umbrellas. If you're really worried about it, just get there right after you port and you're allowed to get off the ship, and you will have no problem reserving any chairs. 2 questions we've kind of answered these, but we'll just go into a little bit more depth. Is also, are there any onboard activities that you suggest doing or activities to do on the ship? So those are 2 questions that I received. And y'all, there are so many activities. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that video again here and just have it scroll slowly so you can see how many activities there are throughout the entire day. On the Nassau day, there are definitely a lot of things going on. On the Castaway Key day, not as much because everybody's normally off of the ship. But throughout the day, there's like photo moments for Disney Cruise Line, cycling classes, meeting characters, learning to draw Captain Hook, going to watch Moana, the Incredicourse, Craft Corner, Youth Activities Open House, Star Wars Creature Challenge, Making of the Wish, Character Photo with Frozen, Acupuncture, Detox for Health and Weight Loss, Game Challenge. So there are so many, and then like you get into your trivia and video game challenge, mixologies, more open houses, more movies, again, heard that, Edge karaoke, so many different options throughout your entire day. So what do I suggest? We loved the craft. I would have loved to be able to do more of the drawing, of learning how to draw characters. I really enjoyed doing that. We never watched a movie, but if that floats your boat, go for it. And what else? The dinners are really good. The food's really good. Make sure you get lots of ice cream. We're going to talk about food in a sec, but there are so many activities on this cruise. So what I mentioned a little bit earlier is like, we had a hard time relaxing. On that Nassau day, we did not relax at all. I wanted to do all of the things. I wanted to see all the things, and we were running around that ship with banshees, like banshees. We were all over the place. We were doing so many different activities, and it was really fun. I enjoyed every moment of it. But then when we already did those, we didn't really need to go back and do them again. So then on our Castaway day, Disney's Private Island, we actually got to relax a little bit, and then we came back on the ship at Night of Castaway. We actually didn't go to the Broadway show that they have. We just went and had beignets and had a couple of beverages, and it was so much fun. So there are a ton of onboard activities. Again, there are so many opportunities for activities on the ship. If you don't want to be bored, you can never be bored. Sometimes being bored is good because you can just like relax and just take in the ocean, sea, sun. But there are tons of different things going on at all times. Okay, so now we're into our last section, and now we are going to talk about all of the food. Pew, pew. Amazing. It was delicious. Side note, yes. So on the Disney Wish, and I'm going to go ahead and answer one of the questions right away. Is it all inclusive, or do you have to pay for dining? It is all inclusive, honey. Yes, all of your food is included in that cruise price, which is super nice. So you have your 3 formal dining dinners, and that is Marvel, Arendelle, and 1920. And you can sit on the Roy side or the Walt Disney side on the 1920 dinner night. What's really interesting is, so the last dinner that you have, so for us it was 1920, we actually were able to go to breakfast there the next morning. So we opted not to go to the breakfast and just went to Marceline Market, which is the buffet options on the cruise. So for your overall cruise, you have tons of food options. On deck 11, that's where you're gonna find Marceline Market and Mickey's Foods and Friends, maybe, I think that's what it's called. And your ice cream and a couple of bars. That is where all the pools are as well. So to jump into the questions, is a Marceline Market open for dinner? And it is not. However, the Mickey and Friends and Food or something, it's like a little, to me it seems like a fun little picnic, and all the Disney friends and pals brought their own little items, and it was delicious. We loved Donald's like Mexican, it was kind of like a Chipotle bowl, so good. But Marceline Market is not open for dinner. It is open from breakfast from about 7 to around like 10:45. And then it'll open for lunch around 12 to 2. Again, check your Navigator app. That will 100% tell you the times that it's open for your cruise. But for dinner, they do close because the same servers at Marceline Market are going to be your servers for dining that night. So I just looked it up, and it was Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods. There you go. That's what it's called. But it has Mickey's Smoked Sack Barbecue, Donald's Cantina, Daisy's Pizza Pies, Goofy's Grill, and Sweet Minnie's Ice Cream. These are the 3 main dinings at Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods. They do have Palo and Enchante. They are very fancy dining options, and those are extra. You do have to book them in advance, and so again, if that's something you want, make sure you are logged on right at midnight Eastern Standard Time, 75 days before you sail. One of the questions I got was, are they allowing you to get a Palo brunch on one day and dinner another night? Absolutely, it just has to be available. So it's totally up to your individual cruise if that is still able to be booked, but you can totally book up to how many dinners or brunches that you want. Into our questions about Marvel and a couple of the other main dining options. So I think Marvel Restaurant will be too much for my 3 and 5-year-olds. Can we skip the rotation dining? Is there a place to feed kids in the evenings? If we have the first seating for dinner, can we do the earlier show instead? So first, if you feel like your family won't like one of the experiences, I would definitely go ahead and talk to guest services. They might be able to switch something up for you. You might have to get that later dining. So for dining, there are 2 times. There's early dining and late dining. I'm not going to say the times because I think they might change per cruise, but just know if you ever feel uncomfortable about something, you can always go and talk to guest services, and they might be able to give you a little bit of pixie dust so you can still experience that rotation dining. And Friends Festival of Foods will be open, and then you can also get room service for 24 hours. Like, it does not close. So that is an option for you too. But I would definitely go and talk to guest services if you feel like the Marvel one might be like a little too violent for you. It really isn't violent in my opinion. They just talk about like technology, and then the little thing lights up on the table, but it honestly is up to you and your family. I would also encourage you to watch a YouTube video or something beforehand of what that show looks like, so then your kiddo will be prepared and they know exactly what's going to happen. Next question is, if you dine at Marvel or Arendelle on Pirate Night, do they still have the regular show? So for us, yes, because we didn't have the Pirate Night menu since we were just on a 3-night cruise. For that 4-night cruise, you are going to get a special Pirate Night menu, and it's the same no matter what restaurant you're at. But they aren't going to show like that show again, because it's going to be focusing like around pirates and all of that theme. They really theme it out hardcore on Pirate Night for that 4-night cruise, but for our 3-night cruise, so we can experience every single rotational dining option, they just keep it the same. And then the next dining question is, do you share your dining table with the same group each night? Yes. So you are going to find in your Navigator app your table number, and it's going to be the same table number for your entire cruise. So that means you will sit with the same people for the entire time. Depending on your family size, you might not sit with anyone. We had 2 other couples with us during our rotational dining, but then there was like a family of 4 that sat right next to us, and they were just at a 4 top for their individual family. So it really depends on the capacity of the cruise. You can request to have your own table, but it is just a request, it's not a guarantee. So the next question is, what was my favorite meal on the ship? And this is so hard because I really feel like I loved one thing from each place. Marvel, I really loved the soup, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was amazing. I really loved the appetizer, the scallop bisque with like a puff pastry at Arendelle, and then I loved the pasta at 1920. It was so delicious. So I really liked one thing from each place, but everything was delicious. Everything was good. With the Disney cruise, you can order everything off of the menu. So when we went to 1920, I wanted the pasta, but I also wanted some protein, and so I asked if I could get the filet as well, because that was supposed to be delicious. It honestly wasn't the best filet, but because I got it like medium well and it was just like burnt to a crisp. However, you can order as many appetizers as you want, as many desserts, entrees, soups, whatever you want, you can order. You can order it all. If you wanted every single thing on the menu, they would bring it to you. What was my favorite drink on the cruise? So we didn't drink a ton, like alcohol wise. They do have non-alcoholic beverages as well, but my favorite drink on the cruise was definitely the espresso martini, or the fancy drink I got in the Star Wars lounge. I don't remember the name of it, but that one was really good too. Our next question is the Cove Cafe crowded, and if so, what times? I didn't feel like it was crowded at all. The Cove Cafe is in the adult only area, so 18 and over. And to me, we went up there a couple of times, but it was never overcrowded. It probably just depends on if your ship is sold out and at full capacity or not. But the adult areas, we never had a hard time of finding anywhere to sit. There is only one hot tub, so like that kind of stinks. But other than that, we had a great time up there just lounging, being able to go get some beverages. And it's really close to like where all the food is at as well. So we never had any issue with like waiting in super long lines to get a drink or to get food or anything like that. Alright, you guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching my Q&A all about the Disney Cruise Line. I feel like I just need to go drink all of the water from all of the talking, but I really appreciate you making it to the end. If you made it to the end, leave a little red heart for Disney Cruise Line in the comments down below. Also, if you have any other questions or need anything clarified, let me know in the comments down below. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Thank you for everyone who submitted a question to me. I really appreciate it. I loved going back and thinking about our Disney Cruise Line adventures, and we can not wait to go again. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel for all of the fun, magical content. I appreciate you being a part of my community. Hitting that subscribe button is zero cost to you, but it means so much to me. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends who are going on a Disney cruise. And again, if you need help booking, just let me know in that form down in the description. I think that's it. Have a magical rest of your day, and I will see you real soon. Bye.